Hey, Taco Tuesday fans, this is Christian Brindle.
And I am Glenn Shelton.
We came together and combined our forces to create something special for insurance agents called Taco Tuesday. Let's taco about insurance. My company, Christian Brindle Insurance Services,
and my company, Lead Heroes,
is here to bring you the latest and greatest news happening in the insurance industry today and eat some tacos while we do it.
If you enjoy the content that we put out on this podcast, feel free to leave us a review or subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes.
Without further ado, let's get into this episode of Taco Tuesday.
Talk today about, and we're live.
Boom.
Hello, welcome to Taco Tuesday, everybody. We have a super special guest that Christian and I could not be more excited about, Miss Gaylan Hendricks.
And I'm right in the middle.
That's right, the queen of the bundle. We're bundling her in with Taco Tuesday today, sandwich right between Christian and myself. And just couldn't be more excited. So much value that she brings every time I get a chance to talk to her. And I know Christian feels the same way. And we couldn't be more excited for everyone to have a chance to hear her talk today with us. So, Gaylan, thank you so much for jumping on today. How are you doing?
Fantastic. It's always awesome to speak with you guys and hang out. I mean, Christian and I visited a little bit on Saturday. It's nice to have friends in the business and just pick up the phone, call them when you want to, Taco Saturday. I mean,
Taco
I know
Saturday.
this is Taco Tuesday, but I think tacos are every day.
I agree.
Tacos are.
We were talking about books, and
Yes.
y'all, this one, Christian, this one is so good. This is called Minute Motivators. I picked it up in the airport when I did my little thing in
I
Charleston.
like it.
It's Minute Motivators for Leaders. Now, this page right here, I always love when I get a book, just opening it and see what I open up to see if it's, like a sign or destiny or, whatever. But this was kind of humorous because I was talking to Christian a little bit about it, but it says, leaders have a sense of humor. Humor is to life. This is great. What shock absorbers are to automobiles. And I got to tell you, I don't even know what that means. Because, I'm trying to think what a shock absorber is, so I don't know that. But what's super cool is this little page, and they're so easy because we were talking, not everybody likes to read. It's really hard for me to see my camera. I don't know where I'm going. But these are short, and so I want to start with this because I think it's awesome. But it says, good leaders don't take themselves too seriously. There we are. They know how to laugh. Yes. They know how to laugh and are willing to laugh at themselves, which is me on a daily basis. Since they have a firm grip on who they are and what they are about, they aren't threatened by the understanding that their associates are keenly aware of their foibles and probably have had a laugh or two at their expense. Now, I'm sure that's none of us on this call. I'm sure nobody's had a laugh at our expense, unless it's happy hour, of course.
How dare they? Yeah.
Right. Then it says, good leaders know that a bit of measured silliness can break the bondage of prolonged seriousness. I love that. A carefully chosen, well-placed joke or humorous story can instantly reverse the negative mood of a meeting. Humor is also effective in breaking down the walls between leadership and the team. A shared joke with the team may not only calm a tense situation, it can create rapport and cultivate trust. When the leader laughs, the team shares a sense of relief. Nobody trusts a leader who doesn't know how to laugh. President Lincoln had a sharp wit. President Kennedy kidded with the press. The greatest leaders are content with themselves and are able to smile. Now, I personally think this is destiny because I've been reading a lot of the posts in the groups out there. Lord have mercy, we're getting way too serious. There are some folks that need to take a break from social media There are some leaders out there that need, hey, dude, I told you that on Saturday. That's why I quit posting for a little while. Well, I did it for two reasons. I have to be totally transparent here. One, because I found myself getting in the midst of everybody's drama.
Yeah.
You know, I got a call today from a young kid that I've been talking to, and he calls me up this morning. He says, Miss Gaylan, you're like a mentor to me. I'm your mentee. But I'm in some of these groups, and you know, there's some people out there, I think, kind of taking advantage of you. And I want you to know it because you give everything to everybody and you pour into them. And I was like, hold up. We don't need to go down that road. I'm a big girl. I can take it. You know, I don't want to get negged out by that. And I don't want you negged out by that. I appreciate your protection. I appreciate that you're looking out for me. But at the end of the day, the reason I share is because I totally believe that when you share something of value with somebody else, they're going to tell somebody about it. Yeah. And I totally believe that the cream rises to the top. And, you know, sometimes there are just people out there, and even people that are in our lives, that they just are not in a good place sometimes. And they tend to, instead of giving you maybe the credit you think you deserve or the credit that would make you feel better, they're too much in what's going on around them in their little kingdom to worry about my kingdom or Glenn's kingdom or Christian's kingdom. And we all go through that. We all go through seasons where we're not really worried about somebody else's kingdom because we got our own stuff we got to worry about in our kingdom. I thought I turned my email off, but I guess I'm not sharing a screen, so don't need to worry about it. I don't think I'm sharing a screen. Are y'all seeing a screen on me?
We are seeing your email right now.
Not yet, anyway. Not yet, anyway.
All my love letters. But, you know, one of the things that I thought was really interesting, and saying that and feeling that and hearing that this morning, one, I love hearing it because that means that you've poured into somebody that cares enough about you to give you a shout and say, hey, thank you for everything. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty kick butt cool.
Yeah.
But I think the thing that a true leader does is they find the sense of humor in it. You know, they tend to go, hey, so what's really happening here? You know, if you know that you did something or you poured into somebody, then you know. You don't have to worry about, you know, what the world thinks. The world already knows who you are, you know, the important world, right? And I think the most important thing you can do in this world right now is look at, you know, what you bring to the table. So if somebody just asked you, Christian, right now, what do you bring to the table? Don't think about it. Just give an answer.
I think I bring tacos. No, just kidding. I think I bring.
That's why I'm a fan.
Yeah, I think I bring transparency. I don't know everything out there in our industry. I don't know everything about marketing. I don't know everything about social media. I don't know everything about content creation. But I know more than probably most, and I'm willing to share it. I think that's probably the number one thing that I would say that that I bring, that other people bring it certainly too, but I don't know if there's a whole abundance of people that are willing to share as much as I do. Like I feel like I'm willing to share when it probably is detrimental to me. You know what I mean? I'll share things that I probably shouldn't share. You know, like I'm willing to call myself out when I make a mistake. I think that the main thing for me is just I don't hide behind anything. I try to be very honest, very transparent.
Okay. So I've got to say something right there because something just, bam, hit me upside the head. You know, we have people say that all the time. You know, Gaylan, you share too much. You're giving your secrets. You know, it could be bad for you. Well, how could it be bad for me? How could it be detrimental to you? at the end of the day, I think it enhances you. I think it makes people want to be like you. I think it makes your attitude better. And I've said 100 years, and I'll say this till the day I die. So when y'all come to my memorial, remember this. You cannot get better when you're bitter. So I learned that a long time ago. And I think that, people just as human beings want to take care of people they care about. So I don't think the call I got today was to nag me out. I think the intention in that call was about, I want to protect my Medicare mama, or I want to take care of Mama Gaylan. But honestly, what ended up happening, I hope, and I told him I wouldn't mention his name, but if he's listening today, I want him to think about, you made me feel good just caring enough to protect me. But I hope that me turning it around and saying, hey, that's not detrimental. Actually, there's an old saying in Hollywood, bad publicity is better than no publicity. So if somebody's talking about stuff you've done, then that's a good thing. And, Christian, I think what you said spot on. I think you're such a sharing person. That last happy hour you did, I thought that was unequivocally one of the best sessions that we've all had in a long time. I mean, we stayed on that call for a really long time.
Mostly because of you, though. Mostly because of you.
I don't think so.
Yes.
But, well, I appreciate that. But I think it's because, all those people on that call, they had something that was kind of ticking them off a little bit. We heard it. It was kind of getting a little intense. And then I'm just sitting there listening, hanging out. And then all of a sudden somebody goes, Gaylan, what do you think? And I go, uh-oh. This could go a couple of ways. This could go really bad, or it could go really good, because I'd had a cocktail or two, obviously. But what was interesting about it is, like you just said, Christian, I was transparent. I was like, I've heard good stuff and I've heard bad stuff, but at the end of the day, it's what works for you. Right. And that looks really good, Christian. You're making me hungry.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's what I could tell by that big old mouth, this skinny little guy and this big old gigantic plate. And here's this girl with this little bitty plate and Dr. Pepper Zero. I will do a commercial for them. Everybody should have it. But, I think that was kind of what got that conversation started on a productive path. And like I told you, Christian, I heard from a couple of guys after the call saying, hey, I appreciated that wisdom. I hadn't really thought about it in that light. I don't think that's so much my wisdom as it's the group's wisdom once you start discussing all this kind of stuff.
Right.
I had a mentor one time that told me, he says, when everybody in the room remembers that their brain is only half as good as the entire room is together, then you have a good discussion. And I've remembered that ever since I was in my 20s. And, that's what I thought happened on that call. I thought that everybody kind of got it off their chest. But then when you finally put it all back together and you said, okay, what do you really want to do? What is a lead? And one of my most favorite things that I have created myself and will stay with, and this is another thing y'all need to remember, is that if people tell you they're not interested, then you're not interesting. And, a name is just a name. And, the truth of the matter is either one of you or me included could walk out and see 8 neighbors standing outside my door. And if you just started talking about what you do, somebody in that group of 8 would probably think, well, I'm not going to say it right here because I don't want to act like I want to buy. But, they may call you later and go, hey, I really liked what you had to say. Sometimes you're just targeting the wrong person at that moment.
Yep. It's timing, right?
Yeah.
It's timing. And so if you had a group of 8 people.
Means not now.
No means on to the next. It's just spelled backwards. I mean, Dad always used to tell me, you get 3 no's and you've done your job and it's on to the next. And you don't let that spill over into the next one. And one day I was sitting there trying to get across to some agents in our office, hey, you're negging yourself out because you've talked now to 3 people. Maybe you're supposed to talk to 5 people before you get a sale. If you had a group of 5 people in front of you, surely somebody would be interested in you.
Yeah.
And if they're not, it's because you're not interesting enough for the group. Because somebody likes somebody, I mean, it has to happen.
So I had an email I actually sent an agent this morning, and it was kind of the same topic where it was like, the first few days, it was all no's and they were getting discouraged, right? Like I could see it happening. And I told him, I said, if you were to flip a coin and you flipped a coin 5 times and it was heads every single time, does that mean that your probability on your next flip is 100% heads just because the last 5 coin flips? I said, no, like it's your next flip has a 50-50 chance. It could go either way. Don't let your past dictate what the future probability is on these events. So, and again, that comes back to the mind game, right? Because agents get discouraged so quickly. But yeah, I love that. I love the 3 no's too, because that first one is almost a knee-jerk reaction a lot of times, you guys, when that prospect's just like, nope, no, not right now. And sometimes you circle back around, you talk a little bit more, and I can't tell you how many times that's worked for me personally, but yeah, I love it.
That's why you build packages of protection. If you talk to, like I'm talking to Christian, and I've got 5 products that I want to talk to him about, I have a better chance of selling something with 5 products than I do only offering 1 product.
Here we go. We got to the good stuff.
I
was thinking you're like Flo in the senior insurance space. I was literally thinking this last week, Gaylan. I'm seeing Flo on TV. It's that commercial where they're like, don't talk about bundles. Don't talk about bundles. And then she freaks out and she puts her apron on. She's like, it's called a bundle. And she's like screaming on the beach.
Is my connection lagging at all, you guys?
No, I got you.
No.
Okay.
I think we just interrupted you.
I was just
we just don't want to talk to you.
No. I like what I think about is like so last year I read Jordan Belfort's book, Way of the Wolf, on his straight line selling system. And obviously he goes into much more detail in his actual certification course and everything like that. But like he pretty much lays it out in the book pretty nicely. I find it's a lot like that straight line system to where like you're going down this straight line, and when you start to get off track or you start to lose the person or anything like that, you just revert back to the beginning. You start on the straight line once again. And I think it all kind of comes back to that, like if you get to the point in the line where you're getting a no or you're getting an objection or anything like that, you just circle on back. And
you just don't hear the no. I mean, that's another way of looking at it. That's the way obviously Jordan did it, as we all know at 8% Nation last year. He just didn't pay attention to no. And now he does, the right knows. But I do think that what happens is that in a bundle situation, I told this group of agents, so let's go back a year ago. Okay. We're in the midst of COVID and everybody's freaking out. How am I going to make money? All this stuff. Well, I was trying to figure out what I was going to do with all my time, And so I picked up this large organization that we'd written a lot of business with in the past. And I was like, hey, I'm going to circle back around with them and see how they're doing. And I said, do y'all want to kind of go through back some training on this and see how it works? And so we did. And then long story short, come to this year, we just found out that those guys had come totally off the leaderboard last year. And now they've moved to number 3 in the country on ancillary sales alone. Okay, with that.
Wow.
Now, we have been training with them and training with them and training with them. And I told them, I said, I just think so many agents and organizations, they want to get on one call. I just need a couple of things, and then I'm going to go my way, and I'm going to get this, and I'm going to knock it out of the park because I'm super stud. The problem with that is that you've got that between your head. You're a super stud. You have nothing else to learn. when you come to the finalization that you do have stuff to learn. Like, I wake up every day wanting to read a book. We started this, you guys, for y'all all got on. But, you know, the reason I like reading so many books at a time is because obviously I can't focus. You know, I hear Sean, my son, saying squirrel. But the reason I do that is because if I'm struggling with something, then I'll pick up a book and I'll read something and it puts me in the right frame of mind. And I'm like, you know what? What did I just get out of what I read? What did I learn from that? And so one of the things I figured out in teaching this organization, I was like, hey, so when somebody asks you what you do, what do you say? Do you say you're in sales? Do you say you're an insurance agent? And one of the guys spoke up and he goes, oh, I tell them I'm an insurance agent. I go, oh, that's boring.
Yep.
I said, that's not very sexy. So I said, let's take it like you're walking into a bar and, you know, you just got divorced and you're looking for a girl.
Okay.
She says,
now we're talking.
What do you do for a living? You say, I'm an insurance agent? No. You say I'm in sales. I'm top in my field. You know, you're not dropping the insurance bomb until you're probably walking down the aisle. Yeah.
I'm a special agent. I'm a licensed agent.
A special agent.
I told you. So I said, when you're talking to people in general, you know, you don't have to be as sexy, but you have to be interesting. And so one of the things I was telling this group is like, when you're talking to people on the phone and you introduce yourself, you don't want to go, hi, I'm Glenn, the insurance agent. Let's go ahead and take your money out of the bank, because those people are not waking up with devastation on their mind. It doesn't matter what age they are. They're waking up wanting to buy a car or a house, or if they're retired, you know, breakfast with their neighbor. I mean, they're not thinking insurance. But when you call and you introduce yourself and you say, hi, I'm Gaylan Hendricks, you know, we visited a while back. You know, I don't know if you know what I do, but what I actually love to do is visit with clients and build them packages of protection. That's what I like to do. And so what I've told this group as we've kind of gotten into this, I said, guys, I thought of something great the other night. Packages of protection protect your paycheck, because now you've got more persistency going down in that house, and you've got more products for them.
Can I interrupt you? And can we kind of just role play that, what the conversation that you were about to have right there? Because I think it's just so great. So you say, you know, you say, I'm telling you what I offer packages of protection. So if I'm the senior here and I say, Gaylan, what's that? What is a package of protection? What do you mean?
Glenn, you're turning 65.
Yes, I am.
You're at the prime perfect time. And that's a great rhyme, by the way.
Thank you.
Prime perfect time in your life. For two reasons. One, you're getting to go into the promised land of health insurance. It's never going to get cheaper for you in your entire life than it is today.
Perfect.
But what's happened is, in our world, is we've got politicians who love to pretend they're an educator, but they know nothing about insurance. They know nothing. They didn't even read the ACA bill. They voted on it a day after it was handed to them.
True.
So what I do is, you know, they brought in all these navigators. They paid them minimum wage, and they didn't even have to have a license. And they're instructing you on what you need to do for health insurance. Well, that was a bomb. It just fell flat. So what I've started learning to do with clients when I introduce myself is tell them I build packages of protection. And I'm so glad you asked what that means, because when you leave your place of employment, you've usually had a health insurance plan, which is what I call the base plan. And then you usually had a dental or a vision or a hearing discount package or a plan. You know, you had something. And a lot of them right there will say, nope, my boss was stingy. I didn't have crap. Even better, because now you get to make those decisions, not the boss man, because you're retired and you're walking into the land of freedom. So it's your choice. I'm just going to help you decide which plan's best for you. But I want to talk to you about what goes into the package. So a lot of my clients that are turning 65 don't realize what a PDP does and doesn't do. Sometimes they think it's like their old health insurance. You're going to pull up to the CVS health window and they're going to go, hey, that's not on your formulary. Well, in the senior world, they're all on a tier. But the cancer drugs typically fall on what we call tier 5 or a specialty tier. So you're going to speed to the donut hole if you're one of the 85% that get the cancer. And that's what happens to people over age 50. So we're going to talk to you about cancer protection, because the primary cost you're going to look at, because you're turning 65, and what I want to do is use your one-time guaranteed issue open enrollment for a Medicare supplement. You can pay 0 premium from now on out for the rest of your life, but this opportunity only happens to you once.
And so just to clarify too, so you said 85% of seniors over the age of 50 will get some type of cancer in their lifetime.
Yeah. So here's the stats. And this is the secret of bundle selling. Y'all need to read the Aetna Pay Setter more
write
often.
this down.
See, it's sad Fred Roth didn't pop on here. He would see that I actually read their stuff. But
I read the one that I was in. I read the one I was speaking in.
I know when you see your picture, you're like, what did I say? But 1 out of 2 men get cancer.
Right.
1 out of 3 women, 1 out of 10 children. And that is not in our Aetna brochure because we're primarily a senior company. But that's really important because people are having children later in life. And I love when I do the training on the cancer plan, because I always tell the agents, say, hey, when that kiddo turns 26 years of age, run back to him and go, you want to be smarter than your dad? Don't wait to 65 to buy your cancer plan, because now you're getting $50,000 for $120 cheaper than what he's paying a month. And that's 120 times 12 months times all the years you have the plan. Now, the next time he tells you you're not good with money, you have some ammunition. So tell him
I'm ready to buy. I'm ready. Sign me up.
Ready? Sign me up. Where do I sign?
Yeah, I
Where
know.
do I sign?
And most people think that the donut hole is what gets seniors. It's not. It's the catastrophic threshold, because there's no max. But all the agents in the world, when you ask, what's the max out of pocket on a PDP plan or an MAPD plan? Because they work the same. One's just integrated, one's not. Oh, there is no max. Okay, but what is the catastrophic threshold? Oh, I don't know. Okay, well, how are you going to sell a package of protection if you don't know what the heck you're protecting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So lesson 101 is go to first grade. Learn what you're protecting. And when you protect your prospect, you protect your paycheck. So, if you have to go P, get it. Every time you think about, I don't like my paycheck, thank God you're not in corporate America, because you would have to be sitting across the desk going, Glenn, this is why I need a 2% raise.
Oh, yeah. I've been there. Yeah.
When you are blessed to be an insurance agent, you wake up and you just talk to 5 more people. Glenn can help y'all talk to more people. You talk to 5 more people.
Yeah.
You sell one of those.
Yep.
They like you. You say, hey, do y'all have any kids or kiddos? Their genetics are indicative, based on what you've told me, they could have cancer. If you're the grandma I am, you don't want to go out there and see all the stuff you bought your grandkids in the driveway waiting for Goodwill. You would rather buy a cancer plan or something that's a benefit to that family. And, when families are going through hard times,
picture. I just want to say, Gaylan, you really paint a picture. You'll throw in these like one-liners. And again, guys, take notes, because again, I can see the close happening before she's even there. She hasn't even gotten to like bundling prices. That's the next thing I really want to hear about, is how you bundle how you present the price of the bundle. But man,
this is a video that's going to have to be, I mean, if you're watching this, guys, go through and watch it a second time and a third time, because you're going to need to pick up all the nuggets because they're coming so fast.
Good, Will. So sorry, go ahead, Chris. I'm just excited. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, you're good. I was just going to say, I feel like really what I take away from it, Gaylan, is like, you're really showing them you're really painting a picture for them, like Glenn was saying, that they really do need this. If they don't get this, there's a true reality there that this is going to be the biggest obstacle or chance they're going to have of facing, running out of money or filing for bankruptcy, of anything.
And I just complimented Glenn on being in prime time. A lot of people have their heads on backwards when they're turning 65. They think, oh my gosh, what do I stand for anymore? Some of them get excited about retirement, but a lot of that's all show, because they know they can only travel for so long. They know they can only, go see a movie for so long. And so they're already kind of thinking about, is this all there is? So when you can give them that bit of good news and saying, hey, this is prime time for you. Let me tell you how great this is. Now, this is the Med Sup bundle sale, because I do truly believe that their one and only time guaranteed issue open enrollment should be used on a Medicare supplement, even if it's plan in. Because if they are one of those 85%, or the stat, which is just profound for an agent, when you can say, look, here's how this goes down. Let me tell you how this goes down. Have you ever known anybody with cancer? Yes. And if they don't and they're female, you talk about Patrick Swayze. They all know him. The women want to be with him and the men don't. They want to kill him. But at the end of the day, they all know him. And they all know how quick it was, right? And so what happens is that all of a sudden now you're going 1 out of 2 men, 1 out of 3 women, 1 out of 10 kiddos. 77% of people over age 55 get cancer. 85% over age 50. Now, I'm over 50. And having had a dad that had cancer, that's staggering to me. It's very scary to me. And when I had my scare 5 years ago, I'm telling you what, I had an ACA plan, and MD Anderson wasn't in the network. And guess what? MD Anderson isn't in any good networks right now, or good plans you would buy. And so having $90,000 of cancer, I knew once I got my head on straight, 2 things happened. The one thing I'd been telling customers for 20-something years was actually true, because I was now living it. I knew if I spent $1 a day and I never got cancer, I would never be mad that I was spending $1 a day and didn't get to claim on my cancer policy. Because the beautiful thing about not claiming on a cancer policy is you didn't get cancer. Beautiful thing, Mr. Jones. But number 2, if I do get that diagnosis, I'm going to be mad as hell that I got it. But I'm going to be so proud that I associated myself with an agent that had the sense to show me the plan. Because here's the thing. I had an agent stupid enough to say this to me the other day. Hope he's watching, because I told him he was stupid when he said it. He goes, well, you said that one of the things from 2010 to 2018 that people spent $167,000 in a year on drugs. And I go, yeah. And he goes, we're only selling them 20,000. I said, that's all they can afford, which tells me they don't have 167,000 in the bank. And if they do, they would rather spend $1 a day using Aetna's money than some of their 167,000 in the bank. So all you did was limit their exposure. This is why you need to offer it to people younger and younger and younger, so that the plan gets cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. The thing that drives me I don't know if I can say it, but SHIT crazy.
You
Yes,
can
you
say
can
it.
say it.
Is
You have
when
permission.
I am talking with a family at the Ronald McDonald House that I love to serve at, and they say, Gaylan, what do you do? And I tell them I do cancer plans, and they're like, why isn't the government telling me about these things? Okay, guys, if you're watching this, it's not the government's job. That's what we're all pissed off about. It's your job. The reason they want the government to tell them is because you, the agent, are not.
Yeah.
Boom!
Yeah.
Where's that microphone? I need to drop it.
You do need
Where's
to
that
drop
mic
it.
from last week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's important that you do your job.
Well, so I have a question. So one of the best life insurance salespeople, there it is. There's the mic
boom, boom.
drop.
Boom, boom.
I love it. One of the best life insurance salespeople that I've ever met, his wife had passed away from cancer at a very young age. And so when he went into these homes and he's talking to people about life insurance and the opportunity, he's able to paint a very vivid picture of these, worst case scenario events where he's like, listen, my wife passed away. She was in it was like late 20s, early 30s. She was very young. It came on very fast. We had no idea, this could happen to anybody. It happened to me. And so it's not that I don't want to say he wasn't like leveraging his past in a negative way. I just feel like it was helping him express what worst case scenario really looks like. And I feel like when you mentioned goodwill, those items out for goodwill, because you're getting rid of those items because little Tommy passed away from cancer and you did it in such a small way. I mean, that's the type of thing that I think it's really our responsibility to do. You don't want to tell someone like, hey, you could get cancer tomorrow. Like it's not pleasant to say that to someone, right? Like
Right.
It's not a fun conversation to have, but it's almost our ethical responsibility as an insurance agent to tell someone like, hey, this is your liability right now. Like this is what could happen. You might not
it's your
think of it.
oath. It's
Yeah.
You sign when you become an insurance agent. I told this group in Charleston last week, I said, one of the things you need to remember is when a client is at the worst place in their life, they're going into a hospital, they don't know what's wrong with them, they're having chest pains, you're more important than the doctor because the doctor's not going to do crap for them unless he gets paid. Most of these people are not going to have cash in the bank to pay the doctor. Call it conceit, call it arrogance, call it whatever you want to call it. But in people's lives, I'm more important to my prospect than their doctor or their lawyer. Because at the end of the day, that's how they get paid, is through insurance.
Yeah.
If you are in a bad smash 'em up car wreck and the other person doesn't have insurance and you were the PNC guy that sold that person insurance, you're more important than the lawyer.
Yeah.
You're the
100%.
reason that you're going to get a new car. You took care of your client.
Yeah.
Same way in health insurance. I said, so y'all need to start thinking about how valuable you are to these people. That's how you build packages of protection. That's how you become interesting. And I don't talk rates until I get down to the end and somebody tells me they can't afford the package. If they can't afford the package, then I kind of have to disassemble it, because the first thing I know for absolute fact is if this client's on a Med Advantage plan and all they can afford is $30 a month, they are not going to get anything but a cancer plan from me. They don't need dental, vision, and hearing. Let all the teeth fall out. But I want to save your life. And I want to save your savings. So people who sell dental first, they do that because it's low-hanging fruit. It's an easy sell. Everybody wants to look good.
It's the easiest cross-sell.
It's absolutely
it's the easiest. It's the easiest cross-sell because it's something that seniors think about probably on a more of a short-term basis, right? They're thinking I might go in and need a crown or a root canal or something like that. The other thing that I've heard, kind of over the years from a lot of great salespeople is like, if you believe in what you're offering, if you believe in your product, you might be a little bit pushy because you look at it like a moral and ethical responsibility to protect their needs, and you feel like your product is the only thing that can do that, and you're the best person equipped to do that. I mean, I don't think that being pushy is necessarily a bad thing or being a slightly aggressive because of that. I feel like, because it's your ethical and moral responsibility to make sure that that person is getting protected, and you're not just giving them what they want, but more what they need, right? Obviously, you don't want to throw a lead out, and by refusing to give them what they want, but at the end of the day, you're making a recommendation. That's why they're talking to you.
Well, and that's why we do the training 30, 60, 90. The guys that have done nothing but sell Med Advantage their entire career, they just don't even like to sell MedSup.
Right.
Because they love the zero premium.
Going backwards for them. Yeah.
But they get give back dollars, and they need to immediately, once they get the Med Advantage app rolled out, they need to go, okay, with this $99 you're being given back by Aetna, we need to do what the company intends for us to do with that money. We need to finish building out your package of protection, because there's been some benefits stripped from your Med Advantage plan in order to keep it zero premium. This $99 we need to spend on you first. Then if there's any left, then the casino can have it. But my concern is to take care of you. I'm not protecting the casino,
baby.
Yeah, I'm protecting you.
One thing I want to reiterate here, because this is a huge thing that I'm a huge believer in this, and it sounds like you are as well, Gaylan. So it sounds like you're a big believer in not quoting any price until the end of the conversation, right? Because what I feel like has happened with a lot of these call centers is they've really created this transactional approach where, and I'll just throw eHealth under the bus for an example here, is, the larger you scale a call center, the lower quality that employee becomes. It's just natural, you guys. It's just you can't have a 1% closer, the best of the best, and you can't scale that model out to 3,000, 10,000 agents. It's just not feasible. So
they're not taking the time to get the trust.
Bingo.
When you quote premium, now, here's going to be the mic drop, and I may not ever be asked to be back again. Y'all may get just slammed with hate mail.
Yeah.
It doesn't take
I get it every day
much.
anyway.
It doesn't take much to be a Medicare salesperson, because all you're selling is rate. And that's not really taking care of your client, because they're going to get a rate increase sometime in the near future, and you did not explain that properly. It doesn't take a lot to sell zero. To get a zero premium sale, pretty daggum easy. But what's going to happen is those clients are not going to realize what benefits they don't have. They don't realize that when they go into an oncologist office, and I started sharing this with agents because I hadn't shared it either for a while or at all, but my sister is a medical coder, and she went to go get interviewed in an oncology clinic, and they asked her who she knew that had cancer. And she says, oh, my dad and my aunt. And they said, oh. And she said, what? And they said, well, we don't like to hire people that have been through that because they have a hard time collecting the copayments. And we don't have a charitable fund like hospitals. So that zero premium plan, now write this down, guys, if y'all don't get anything else after I insulted the daylights out of all of y'all, but I am going to show y'all how to make money. If you have a zero premium plan and you're one of those 85% percentile, then that zero premium plan just costs your customer $629 a month, because they're going to be out $7,550. When you sell like you buy, or you sell like you want to be sold, then guess what? Your clients start getting trust in you, and they start saying, a good agent is going to tell me that my zero premium plan is going to cost $629 if I get cancer in that first year. A bad agent is going to call it zero premium. Ding, ding, ding. Hey, my doctor's telling me I'm out $7,550 and you told me it was zero. No, ma'am, I told you it was zero premium. Everybody's got to pay something. You know how many times I've heard that in a customer service room? Everybody's got to pay something.
Yep.
No. That's why ops and customer service and agents don't always get along, because agents are taking shortcuts and the ops team or the customer service team is having to clean up the mess. So I've worked on both sides, and I'm trying to bring y'all to a happy place. When you actually tell a client that your zero premium plan could cost you $629 a month, what that actually does for you as an agent is it allows you at that very moment, that is your opportune time to get the client's trust and say, look, the reason I'm telling you this is I want to figure out if you're better off in a plan in on a Medicare supplement or this zero premium plan. Because if you can't afford $30 a month for a cancer plan or $629 in year one, then you're in the wrong plan. I need to move you to a plan in and get rid of that $7,550. I need to eradicate that. Now what we need to talk about is what your plan in med supp's going to cost with a smaller amount of cancer insurance. I'm not even talking about dental, vision, and hearing right now, because that's the least of our worries based on what you just told me. You told me you can't afford $629, or you can't afford $30, or you can't afford $60. You can't afford not to have this plan. And right now, I've not talked a premium at all to this client. All I'm doing, one of the things this young man said earlier today is, there's people out there that say, hey, you gotta work with people that are selling every day. Well, guess what? I work with people that sell every day. I sell still. But here's the thing. If you do not ask these important questions and all you're doing is selling zero premium or a med sup on the lowest rate on your sheet, are you as good as I am for the agent? Because I'm showing the agent how to build a package, how to stay relative in that person's life, so that the next time somebody calls and says, hey, Glenn, who do you have your health insurance with? Hey, you need to call my agent, Christian. He built me a package. And let me tell you, I sleep just fine at night because I'm doing the Dave Ramsey method of insurance. I'm diversified. Guess what? I'm so healthy. Gaylan told me I was in the prime time of my life. I may never go in the hospital. I told somebody the other day, I won't cancel my Billy Bob's country club membership because I'm going to keep going to concerts, and I won't cancel my long-term care policy. I would let my med sup go before my long-term care policy. And I'll tell you why. I can get into most any doctor just saying I have Medicare. But if you come to that point in your life and you have to go into a Medicaid pending situation and you don't have a short-term recovery care, guess where you're going to go?
Home.
You're either going to be homeless, or you're going to have to move in with somebody who's not prepared to take care of you. Like my mother had, it's bad, y'all, because we don't think that far. Because Glenn, you said it best a while ago. You guys can't buy your own Medicare supplements you sell.
Right.
Because you're not old enough.
Right.
But you can buy the cancer, you can buy the short-term recovery care, you can buy life insurance. You know what the worst thing for a life insurance agent is? When you get a call from that person's son or daughter and says, hey, Glenn, I saw your card and all my dad's important paperwork. Can you tell me the life insurance company that he had his insurance with? Because he passed away yesterday. Now, they're not going to be as happy as I am.
I'm so sorry. He actually canceled his policy after the second month. I'm so sorry.
Or he didn't take one at all.
Or he didn't take one at all. And another thing I want to touch on, you guys, that Gaylan said there. So one of my best friends is a registered nurse. And talking to him, and obviously working in the hospital, there's obviously a lot of seniors there. And I didn't realize how big of an issue this is. But this is the conversation, he says, that happens almost on a daily basis in the hospital, okay? The senior needs to get discharged, but also the doctor saying can't be alone because of whatever happened, XYZ. And so the patient saying, well, I don't have anybody. And so then the nurse, my friend, he gets on the phone and he's calling the family. And the family's like, we don't want them. We can't take them. We don't have room. So this situation that she's describing, you guys, it happens every single day. I'm telling you. I just know firsthand.
It's happening to a good friend of mine right now. And when it happened to me, my mom was in this fancy schmancy retirement combination long-term care facility. Her best friend worked there as a nutritionist. Well, she's on her 21 days. So she gets to go to the highfalutin place, walks in like a rock star. Well, on day 21, the famous call comes in. Where are we sending your mom? Well, what day will she be discharged? Like in 10 minutes. Where do you want her to go?
Yeah, exactly.
How about anywhere but the parking lot?
I don't know. I've got to find a place. What do I do? She goes, well, the first thing I would do, she goes, I'm going to let her stay one more day because she's a friend of Mary's. Now, that was an absolute favor. I didn't get a bill for that. But I'm telling you, anybody else probably would have in that situation. So then what happens is that you call your local Medicaid office. Who has Medicaid pending beds? Well, right now we're showing 10. We call through 5, none. So then I call back the lady and I go, look, I've called 5 out of the 10. There's nobody. She goes, look, I have this friend. I'm going to have her call you. This lady calls me from the Medicaid office. She goes, in your area, within an hour's drive, there's 5 that have pending beds. But they could be gone because people have been calling all day. Call through the first 2. They don't have any. The next 3. You can come over. We got there. No bed. Got to the next one. No bed. We go to West Side Campus of Care, which is 5 minutes from my office. We have 1. So what you're going to have to do, Gaylan, you're going to have to fill out this application. You're going to have to sign your name. You're guaranteeing that if your mother's not approved for Medicaid pending, that you're going to pay $135 a day. So every month they would send me what I owed if Medicaid pending didn't happen. And so what a lot of y'all may not know, and this is very important for you to know, you can't build a package of protection if you don't know what the plans are protecting them against. If you don't remember anything I said today, learn your product. So interesting thing is she gets approved, but it's like 120 days later, and they do retro it back. But every month that bill is building, right? And they keep their Medicare for their health insurance. But once they get approved for Medicaid, then the kiddos have to go through and fill out an application. And they have to give all the information. And now you're struggling trying to get all that done. When you start talking to people about these plans when they're in their 50s, it's perfecto. If you've not studied how AARP came about, it's a very important lesson. This man and woman started batting it back and forth. This man gets credit for it, but it was a man and woman that were batting it back and forth. And she said, literally, I do not want to turn 50 and start getting all this stuff about when I'm going to turn 65. There's not going to be one person that picks that up and reads it. Well, just the exact opposite happened because these big cards were going out and they showed the price of what long-term care was at 65 and what it was at 50. Well, people started calling in and saying, hey, I want to buy this plan. We all know the downfall of long-term care. They didn't price it right. It went way high and nobody could get it. But what short-term recovery does in this package of protection is at least get your loved one 364 days. So while you're trying to figure out where they're going to go, you're not like I was in 24 hours scrambling and just putting your mother anywhere. Would you go take your kid and drop them at a daycare because it was the only one available within an hour of you?
No,
you wouldn't.
Never.
But that's what happens to seniors every day.
Yeah.
You know, we need better advocacy in this country. And the
100%.
only way we're going to get it is for agents to learn what their products do and start educating the client. If the client says they can't afford it, y'all, the best way to overcome that objection is say, well, let me talk to the person that would be responsible. Who is your son or daughter that's going to take that call? Because they may want to spend $1 a day and use Aetna's money or XYZ company's money instead of their own. And this lessens the burden you have on them, Mr. Shelton. You know, so it's not that you're a bad person. It's not that you didn't want to do the right thing. Sometimes life just gives bad luck. But I know your children because I'm a child of an older person, and I'm not going to let that happen to them. Or better yet, let me tell you what happened to my mother. And so, you know, that's the way you build up the package. Now they know how all these plans work. And then you come back and you go, hey, by the way, what were you spending for your group insurance or your ACA plan?
Right.
If they're 50 plus and they're not getting a subsidy, it's easy $1,500. And all they got was a $8,100 out of pocket Blue Cross Blue Shield, you know, bronze plan that they haven't used.
My parents. Yeah, that's my parents. I know they're paying a ton of money. Yeah.
And guess what? People at 50 to 64 should have their crap together. A lot still don't. And a lot were unfortunate due to COVID. But even if they have a subsidy, you know, they didn't like their insurance because they didn't like the network. They didn't like the out of pocket. Or they're a teacher and they're having to pay out the wazoo for their dependents. But when you get them talking about how much money they paid and they never use it, and then you go, oh, well, you're going to love this quote for the full package, which if you're a baseball fan like me, I call it the Grand Slam. You know, Denny's had that going on for a while. But you're going to get out of there with 4 products. And at the end, even though life insurance isn't allowed in scope of appointment during AEP, all the health products are. Build it then. If you get 2 of them, when they get their cards, call them back and say, hey, I want to finish the package of protection for you. You know, because we still have, 6 months before you turn another year older. And the other thing y'all need to remember on the cancer plan, there's no tobacco question. There's no vaping question. And the American Heart Association says vaping is going to be worse than tobacco. So when you see these young kids vaping their brains out, they don't want to move back home with mom and dad if they get cancer. They're not going to buy health insurance. They're just not. They're young and invincible. But some of these kids will say, when you say, hey, I can give you $50,000 policy for $27 a month, they're like, that's more than I make in a year. Yeah, I want to do that plan because I'm not moving back home. You know, they start thinking about it.
Yeah.
And then that starts building you a customer when they get a little older, a little mature. But you're building not only a package of protection, but you're building a pipeline of referrals if you do it right.
Gaylan, the actionable content that you've given out here is amazing, and I see it makes me want to go sell these bundled protection plans, and this is so relevant, you guys. I had a call center I work with last week. I'm talking to the owner of the call center on the phone, and he's telling me, "Hey, Glenn, we're not selling anything but Medicare." Most of it's Medicare Advantage. Most of the agents in this call center are just like you described. They are selling the zero premium policies. That's all they want to do. They don't want to sell subs. They don't want to sell any ancillary products, even though they get compensated for all of it. So this whole idea of bundle selling, cross-selling, cross-marketing, I love it. Everybody should be doing it. It's better for everybody. It's better for the insurance companies. It's better for your wallet. It's better for the client. It's better for persistence. It's so great. I love it. This is one of my favorite Taco Tuesdays.
Can I add something real quickly? Because Gaylan, it was
Of
you.
course.
If it was you that I remember, you told me, I think it was last year during the pandemic, you shared something with me that
really fast, Christian. I just wanted to be respectful of everyone's time, since we are approaching that hour mark. So if we want to kind of each share final thoughts, or this could be part of your final thoughts, Christian. Again, I appreciate you sharing your time with us today, Gaylan.
Sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Go ahead,
for
Christian.
sure. I mean, but I think I was pretty sure it was you that told me this, that about the realistic statistics of Medicare supplement companies, that how long it takes for them to actually be profitable on a med sup,
Yep.
right? And also that if agents don't do a better job with the cross-selling and selling the ancillary, I mean, of course, we just spent the last hour talking about why it's good for the customers, but it's also good for the insurance companies to sustain what they're doing.
Yeah, those margins are so thin, and there's been talks amongst actuaries for about the last 5 years that if you don't start getting some more profitable products sold, then your commissions need to be cut, because you cannot pay this level of commission on this premium. And that's just math. Now, a PSA announcement I'll give to everybody, because a lot of people ask me about this. They think I'm busy, but y'all need to understand why I do what I do and how I can do it. So I picked up this huge organization last year. And, what we've done is started setting up every other week trainings for them. Due to the relationship I've got with Aetna and with Manhattan Life, they pay me to coach and train sales organizations, belly-to-belly agents. Don't be afraid to reach out. I mean, if you want to have a training session, we can get you on the calendar. And if I can't do it, I've got some incredible people. We've got Taylor who can do it. We've got Sean Hendricks that can do it. We've got Scotty O'Brien that can do it. I mean, we can get that going on for you guys. One of the things that I'm going to be speaking at 8% Nation about in my final thoughts is how to be extraordinary in ordinary times. This is being extraordinary. When you can protect people and get paid for it, tell me what other business other than a physician does that, number one. But number two, nobody has as much fun in it as we do. I saw the doctors in COVID. They weren't having fun. We are insurance agents. We're coaches. We're Zooms. That's why I want to get rid of all the negative talk. For the record, I don't think there's any fake FMOs out there. If you're an FMO, you're an FMO. And you help people. You help your agent so that they can help their people. I do not proselyte agents. If an agent's with an FMO, I protect that FMO. I've been in call centers, Glenn, when people go, Gaylan, I want to come work with you. Well, let's go talk to your manager and see how he feels about that. That conversation ends where it began. It's over, because they're not going to go do that. So the idea, and I wouldn't have the longevity that I have with a company named Aetna and a company named Manhattan Life if I did that. I wouldn't be in a health markets organization or an Integrity or an AmeriLife if I did that. I actually want to help agents protect their prospects, because the bigger their paycheck gets, they see value in what I bring. I don't have to prove my value. You don't have to prove your value, and neither does Mr. Brindle sitting there. We bring value every day to the people we serve. It's that simple.
I'm going to have this call center owner after we get off here. I'm going to text him or call him. I'm going to tell him that he needs to schedule a training with you, because there's so much when you have 10, 20,000 clients you're generating a year, which is, this is the size of his operation, you're talking about a huge amount of missed opportunity when you're not cross-selling or bundling like you've talked about. You guys, final thoughts for me today. Rewatch this episode. Listen to what Gaylan is telling you to do. And I'm also going to highlight what she didn't necessarily like lay it out specifically, but from what I gathered, she was talking about taking someone who's coming off of group health, who's paying more than $1,000 a month, most likely. And you can literally save these people money while also bundling everything, their supplement, their PDP, final expense, dental, vision, hearing, and still save the money. That's next level, you guys. And it makes perfect sense in my head. If you have that conversation correctly.
Or next Taco Tuesday.
Yes, next Taco Tuesday. I mean, again, I'm so excited. I'm fired up. This was so great. Immense value. Thank you so much for your time, Gaylan. Christian, final thoughts.
Yes. So I'll reiterate what Glenn said about rewatch this episode, right? You got to, you're going to miss something if you don't. Our brain only retains like 35% of something you watch, like of a movie, there's a lot more going on in here than the movie. So you got to go through and watch it a couple of times to catch everything and get all the value that was dropped. I would say, guys, my first 4 years in the business, I barely did any cross-selling. And it's one of my biggest regrets. It's just because, I didn't take the time to learn as much as I needed to learn about the ancillary products. And, now we do a lot more cross-selling with hospital indemnities. We're selling more cancer products. We could do better, but we're doing more than we ever did. We're selling more dental, than we ever have before. And I feel like our clients are happier. Our clients are more protected. Like I've gotten calls. Early on, I would get calls from clients that were in that situation where they'd have a cancer drug. It's in a tier 5 category. It's just really just destroying their lives. I don't feel like we run into those issues really anymore, because we're doing a better job of cross-selling and bringing up the other products. That's really the main thing. Glenn and I have done entire streams about this where we just talk about like if nothing else, if you bring something up, if you talk about it, I think agents' problem is they don't talk about it. They don't even mention it,
And guys, do not ever say, do you want a cancer plan with this? It's not like McDonald's. Fries are amazing. Cancer, not so much. I am watching the comments and I'm loving some of this. Somebody wrote passion is pushy, and that is so right on. Somebody said how much selling is involved with slinging 0 premium plans with $100 give back, like 0.
No selling's required. Yeah.
And Glenn said something a while ago where I left off, which is the squirrel comment. I always love to quote my son on that. But typically I'll say, what were you paying? Like around $1,500. Well, this one's like $232. And you have a full package. And you don't have to say anything else. And then you just start writing it out. And the next time we get on with these wonderful human beings that are my co-hosts today is we will show you guys how we use our thank you letter, how we use the declination form. We've got a 30, 60, 90 training. I know somebody asked where my course is at. I get asked all the time when I'm going to start selling this stuff. I'm not. I'm not. Guys, I have been so blessed in this business. And, I'm not saying somewhere down the road that we might not have some kind of curriculum or open a school. I mean, I would love to see that down the road. But right now, I really feel it heavy on my heart that, and y'all know I'm a faith, that God really wants me to just keep sharing this stuff. Because when I see y'all get excited, I know I'm carrying out the message I'm supposed to be carrying out. I've been doing this for 35 years. And so when I see guys get excited about it, I'm like, this isn't new. It's just bringing it out. It's just talking about it. And then we got some other great comments, but this one right here, this one cracks me up. It says, first of all, we got one that says, nah, keep going, LOL. But the other one was, and that's my kind of dude or dudette. But it said, great training. I really enjoyed the brutal honesty and tough love. Some of the comments had me rolling in laughter. That's what I love to do in my trainings. I told this organization last year. I said, I love to have fun. I made a commitment to my team many years ago when I started our business. I said, when it quits being fun, I'm done. Your job is spelled work for a reason, but it doesn't mean you can't have fun doing it. And remember,
Absolutely.
2021 is going to be fun. 2020 was plenty. 2021 is going to be fun. The great thing for all of us in 2020, we didn't skip a beat.
That's right.
And we had people using our customer service scripts, calling their clients, cross-selling over the phone, and they had never cross-sold a thing. They had never sold a thing over the phone. And now they're doing that.
Gaylan,
so that's cool.
Gaylan, I wanted to ask you, if someone is trying to get a hold of you or they want to reach out, they want to talk about getting training set up, what's the best way for someone to do that?
So I would do a couple of things. I would go to Queen of the Bundle and go out there, check out what we've got out there, follow the page. We're probably going to end up making that a group eventually because, as y'all know, a page is harder to track sometimes.
Right.
The other thing is you can get me at Gaylan, Gaylan, at insmg.com. We also have a website that you can go to, insmg.com. My phone numbers are all over Queen of the Bundle, my personal profile. The only people I don't friend request, accept their friend request, are people that compete with Glenn. Because I get like 49.50 of them a day. I don't do that. And then I don't accept friend requests from people that either don't tell me that they're new in the business, because if we don't have common friends, that's usually a problem.
Right.
But if you're new in the business and you're not friends with anybody, let me know, and let me know you watch this.
Yeah.
I also have another idea. I think what the three of us ought to do after we get done with 8% Nation is we might just ought to have us a good old-fashioned little role play on this and really excite your team.
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, I'd love that. I would love that.
And have fun with that. And then I can be Paula. Y'all will have to decide which one of you are Randy. And the worst one is Simon. I mean, maybe you're Simon, Christian.
Simon.
I'll
bear that. That's my cross to bear.
But we could definitely do that. And maybe the best person that role plays with us, that volunteers, we'll give a gift card away, or we'll give a Christian Brindle book away.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a book these days.
Yeah.
We could go buy some. But,
let's do it.
And I will tell you guys who are struggling right now, I just told Glenn and Christian this, and then I'll quit talking. But I love Norman Vincent Peale. Those of you that have heard my story, my dad gave me The Power of Positive Thinking. This book is changing my life because I'm the eternal optimist. But this tough-minded optimist is such a good book of discipline. So if you find yourself struggling and need a kick in the butt, pick up that book. And then also this one, Winning the War in Your Mind. Woohoo! Christian got the book. But winning the war in your mind, we're our own worst enemy. So you have to have a good attitude. And you have to not know everything. Okay? I'm just telling you, you got to put the ego in check. We all got them, or we wouldn't be in this business. But put it in check. All right, guys, I appreciate y'all having me on.
Thank you so much, Gaylan. Taco Tuesday Army. Until next Tuesday, we will be live again, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard, 6 p.m. Eastern. Seriously, thank you so much for your time today, Gaylan. This was awesome.
Welcome. Have a spicy margarita.
Thank you, Medicare Mom. All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye, everyone. Have a great day.